So I'm going to start by introducing Guidely, and then this will give us another minute before more people join. And Guidely is an intelligent personal development platform connecting people seeking healing, inspiration, and answers with experts who help transform their lives. With live one-on-one and group coaching, virtual courses, and community events, Guidely's comprehensive resource include a wide range of mental, physical, and spiritual services to uplift people into healthy, happy, and whole lives. Discover or get matched with counseling, therapy, mentorship, and community for every part of your journey at guidely.com. Komala and Anil, if you guys are ready. So Komala Rohde is a certified master coach. She has a background in medicine and alternative naturopathic medicine. Komala is a certified instructor of the Compassion Cultivation Training created at Stanford University. She has been practicing meditation for the past 40 years. I salute you. Her practice of compassion encompasses many different meditation traditions. For the past 10 years, she has been involved in researching and practicing principles of neuroscience and connection with the mindfulness, consciousness, and creating resilient brain. Komala has worked with and taught intuition for over 4 decades. She's born in Germany and lives with her husband, my dear brother Paten, in Sedona, Arizona. And my dear friend Anil Chandwani is an expert in deprogramming limitations. I need the upgraded version of that software, Anil, using the reset code process that he created. He has over 25 years of experience as a meditation mentor, public speaker, and social entrepreneur. He has facilitated several hundred workshops over 25 countries and worked with thousands on an individual basis, and starred in the documentary The Evolution of Success, along with Jack Canfield, Joe Vitale, and Bob Doyle, who were all featured in The Secret. So I'm privileged to have you guys both in our presence. And I would like, Guy, if we can pin the 3 of us, that would be wonderful. And without further ado, just give you guys the stage. I know we will have some Q&A and we'll have some meditation, but I'm really, really grateful for both of you for doing this. Meditation is a big topic, and the use of meditation for the purpose of resilience is really an incredible perspective that I think we can all learn and grow with. So let's go ahead and start. Anil and Komala.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you for that lovely, generous introduction, and such an honor to be part of this Guidely platform and to be with you all. Perhaps we start with a short meditation, Komala.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to this practice of awareness and compassion. Welcoming yourself in your body. With a sense of I belong here. In my own body. In my environment. And in this beautiful group of people practicing awareness and compassion together. Welcome. Beginning by taking a few diaphragmatic breaths in through the nose, breathing in presence. out through the mouth, releasing any residual tension that can possibly be here for you at this moment in time. And if it helps you, you can even stretch your shoulders a little bit. And maybe just one more breath. In through the nose, presence, out through the mouth, releasing tension, arriving here and now.
For these next few moments, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, so you can relax. There is no one. You are resting at home. Feel your presence. Feel this essence of aloneness and its completeness within you.
And as you continue to notice essence and that sense of completeness, also sense for that sense of connection. Connection to yourself in this moment. Connection in your world. Both aloneness and connection dancing with each other in this moment.
Feel your breath flow naturally and easily to the center of your chest, in that beautiful space of your heart. And with each breath, feel this gift of life, existence pouring, this gift of life into you. Breathe deeply, take it in. Fill your heart with this gift, this vitality. And as you breathe out, returning this gift back to existence with gratitude, with joy.
Imagine as if you took your nose and attached it directly to your heart, bringing your nose down to your heart. And feel this ability of breathing directly in and out from your heart. Notice as you breathe in that cool sense of air. Directly into your heart. And as it touches your heart, it touches warmth. And as you breathe out directly from your heart, notice how that warm air is leaving your body, having added something of that beautiful sense of connection. Breathing in, cool air. Breathing out warmth and connection from the heart.
Now, letting go of everything. And simply becoming aware of what is, aware of this body resting, aware of the breathing happening. Aware of your feelings and even thoughts. Simply staying present to what is.
And as you continue to breathe in what is, beginning to extend what is, beginning with yourself. Wishes of loving kindness and well-being. And if it feels right, you may repeat after me. saying out your first name and adding, I wish you well. Extending wishes of well-being to yourself. Saying your first name and may you be happy and free from suffering. May you find peace and joy. May you be happy and healthy. May you find resilience in challenging situations. And then see whether you can extend those wishes into this community here and into your world by addressing the people you love and care for with, I wish you well. May you be happy and free from fear. May you find joy.
And whenever you are ready, becoming present to your body, to your breathing, and gently opening your eyes to join the love that is within you and around you. And perhaps you want to look around the room with whatever is present for you at this time. Welcome back.
So Neil, I'm curious, when you and I started talking about this event, one of the things that we discussed was that we noticed that people that we work with often talk about meditation as a chore or as an achievement, or that they experience a deeper resistance. And
Yes.
one of the things that you mentioned was that for many people that you talk with, and this is similar for me, meditation tends to be a really short love affair. And, you know, the other day when we talked, we kind of noticed that between you, Amir, and me, we almost have a century of meditation. So it's definitely not a short love affair. I'm curious, what makes it, you know, a steady burning fire for us? What is it for you?
Well, I'm very fortunate to have experienced the essence of meditation, silence, and stillness through the science of active meditations. So these active meditations have this very unique quality of the doing and then letting go of the doing into the being. So understanding this one simple thing, that meditation is our nature, the restlessness is in the body and the mind, was a huge thing for me. That to begin the meditation with this understanding that meditation is my nature. So when the doing part gets done, and then you let go, that feeling of that little child dropping in a mother's lap, or you're on a huge hike in an afternoon and you sit under a tree and feel the rest in the breeze. So that letting go quality, once understood, it became very easy. That was the first thing. So I was very lucky to have gotten a taste of that. The second thing that I just made a commitment that I was looking for excuses to do meditation. So to make it a love affair, I just knew that this will be difficult, this will be hard. So looking for reasons to do meditation was very helpful for me. And then the most important thing, collecting what was fun, rather than it's not working, this is boring, I can't do it, oh, this is tough for me. Of course it is tough, but collecting that, what was shifting, what I was beginning to enjoy, collecting that, what is working, and making it more playful and fun. So once it became playful, it was easy. And I wonder what it was about with you.
This really touches me, what you're talking about, because to me, it also was a love for essence. Really being in the nature, the deeper nature of relaxation, and being within myself in a space that is not yet pulling me through sensory imprint toward the outer world, but just relaxing deeply into my own essence and enjoying that natural silence of it, and feeling home there and having a space where I feel centered. So once that experience, and just like you, it started with practicing techniques and kind of looking for what is it actually meditation. But once the experience was there, once there was a glimpse of this experience of restfulness within one's own being, was more addictive than anything that I could possibly imagine, because it feels so good. It feels home, and it's a neutral sense. It's a neutral sense of happiness.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
kind
and
of
that's
what it feels to me.
yes. No, and what you said, natural sense of happiness, because in that space, when we connect in that essence of meditation, the silence and stillness, we come to the space where we securely connect with ourselves. This is the space of where happiness is always available. So knowing no matter what is going on, no matter what is taken away, because adversity really hits everyone. It doesn't discriminate. So tough times or challenges of meditation and life, we all face it. But even for a moment, when we get this glimpse of that space where we get the taste of a space where we connect with ourselves, where happiness is always available, no matter what is there, no matter what is not there, that is addictive. So I think you hit on a very good point. That is an addiction right there.
Yes. So there's I looked to the chat, and there was a few questions about resilience. How does this experience that we are describing relate to resilience? How does meditation build resilience for you?
Well, the 3 or 4 meditation has a big list of what meditation does for us. It's now become pretty known science, So what we learn in meditation, the first thing, in awareness, I learn to watch my mind. I learn to watch how my mind functions. It's anger, it's fear, it's grief, it's issues. So in meditation, I turn my outgoing energy onto myself. I know how my mind operates. So knowing that first thing, that this is my mind, getting a little distance from it gives the space in which we can process, in which we can operate and learn and strengthen from anything. So that's the first thing for me, is the art of watchfulness, watching how my mind functions. That's the first thing for me. What is it for you?
Watching how there's a beautiful segue, from awareness to compassion. And, you and I, we started on the same path of meditation with the same methods. And, compassion added a different element for me. One of the things that I ran into, and I know that most of the people that I work with run into, is that phenomenon that I call the mind manager, which is that phenomenon that we hire pretty much in the beginning when we meditate, which is like, hey, sit straight. Oh, breathe like this, and thou shalt do this, and you should. And then this mind manager, which is actually part of the mind, learns what meditation is supposed to be like and makes up a story about it. And then in the beginning, thinking that that is what meditation is, while actually over time busting it as one of these disturbances, which is a part of the mind trying to take charge of the mind, and then noticing that it's not the observer. And in most of us, and for me, that was definitely true. That is, was a part that was usually kind of negating, you're not doing this right. This is not good enough. You're not, oh my God, you should be disidentified from your mind. Why are you thinking so many thoughts? Like this thing was, giving me a lot of instructions. Some of them were rather judgmental. And I found that the path of compassion meditation, which is, if you want to, the path of love, allowed me to embrace. So awareness allowed me to deduct what was not the observer, and compassion allowed me to embrace the whole experience of what I was in. So that is like that phenomenon that we were talking about the two doorways that really enter into that same space of non-separation. Yes.
Yeah, so it broadens the space. Yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
No, this actually kind of what I wanted to say, and I wanted to kind of hear, like, on the path of awareness, what is the connection that you experience between awareness and connectivity or compassion, which are really two wings of the same thing?
Yeah, so, I will complete a little thought, prior to that. So of course it broadens my perspective, awareness broadens my perspective. But when we do the practice of meditation and mindfulness, we are consciously choosing, we are paying attention with intention. So now that's a very huge quality when in resilience, when we choose to focus on what is at hand and what is not. That quality also is very, very helpful. Then, of course, this relaxation, this quality of relaxation and playfulness, that this difficulty that we face in meditation and the difficulties that we face in life, Komala, are not just mine. That life has not singled me out, and I'm not the only victim of adversity of life or meditation not happening. We all begin with challenges, learning a new instrument or learning a new game or any skill. So knowing that learning anything new, so meditation and resilience are skills that are available to everyone. So knowing that it's practice that'll make the difference was huge for me.
Yes. I'm just going to go in there a little bit and talk about resilience as far as compassion meditation is concerned.
Yes.
And so, as Amir mentioned, I'm teaching this in a science-related scenario. Like, there's a Stanford program that really explored the science of compassion meditation. And what we found was that this particular path actually creates less anxiety, less depression, and more happiness. And, again, we're talking about that neutral sense of happiness that starts arising. And I can tell you in my own example that it really works. So practicing meditation on a regular basis, and, it doesn't really matter awareness or compassion meditation, it brings a deeper sense of happiness. And it brings a, more centeredness in a way. And I think that in its essence is what really has tethered me into this really long-term love affair, really getting the benefit.
Yes. And talking about love affair, if meditation remains the separate 20 minutes or 1 hour of your day or week, then it's no different than going to the church or temple. If meditation, not the activity, not the technique part of meditation, but the essence of meditation, if it doesn't start to translate into daily life, if we don't begin to do or live the essence of meditation, which is awareness, relaxation, compassion, if this essence begins to come in my daily life in smallest activities, whether it's while I'm sitting in traffic or whether I'm having my cup of coffee during my office break, when we begin to feel the essence of meditation in daily life, it's so easy for it to become a love affair. So I would focus on keeping the practice of meditation and seeing in how many ways, in small ways, I can bridge it into my daily life. And then it's impossible to separate the two. Then it's a love affair.
It is. It's so beautiful that you mentioned that, when the practice flows into life and it becomes an informal practice. If compassion practice, I may find myself in a situation where I'm in the street and somebody is tailgating me. And I have a choice in that moment. Do I want to react? It's like, hey, what kind of a driver are you? Or it's like, you must be having a hard day. I wish you well. And it creates a completely different landscape on how I meet the situation within myself.
Correct. And I'll translate that to awareness. So somebody's tailgating me, I'm getting angry, anger rises in me. Action is of someone else. So it's not the trigger, it is what's happening in me. So I become aware, I am getting angry. I release the trigger, I focus on myself, I am getting angry. When I focus on that, everything transforms. My awareness kicks in, it's I am getting angry, and acceptance. So this is where the resilience grows, the strength grows. So impossible to separate, I think, separating meditation from life skills or separating meditation from the resilience skill. They're so deeply connected. So yeah, it's a beautiful topic. My compliment to Guidely team for selecting that as a theme to share with everyone.
Yes. And apropos, sharing with everyone, I don't know whether this is a good time for you, Anil, but maybe we'll is it a good time to turn it over to everyone in the room to see whether they have any questions for us?
Absolutely, that'd be great. Let's hear it. Yeah. Maybe.
So before I want to first of all thank you, my two dear friends and masters, for this beautiful dance in the facilitation, and I can feel the love for meditation and for each other. It's really beautiful, and obviously both of you are guides, have been with us from day one, and we're really grateful to have you. I want to make sure that we drop in the chat the links, so if people want to book directly with you, they have a link of how they can work with you. But I want to ask a couple of questions before we really open the mic to our guests here, if you don't mind. One is really, throughout my meditation journey, I've heard all sorts of, yesterday when I meditated, I had this incredible experience, and today I didn't see anything. So what did I do wrong? Or yesterday I was able to sit down for an hour, and today after 5 minutes, how do I get and sit down to meditate when I'm angry or sad? Or how do I can't just, okay, now I'm going to meditate while I'm going crazy. So I would love for you guys to give us some practical tips, of perspective of how to be a little more, and the idea of self-compassion applies to the practice of meditation too, but really some practical tips, and also how to develop a practice that is relevant for me as an individual, not that is necessarily general. So if you can give us some juicy love affair kind of what kind of flower she likes, it's like
I'm going to
Okay.
I'm going to start with that, Anil.
Please.
This question inspires me. So I live in Sedona, and we have 320 days of sunshine, but we have 45 days of rain and hail and snow. So if I make a choice that I choose sunshine, here in Sedona, I'm going to be pretty happy for 320 days, but I'm still choosing it. So for 45 days, I'm going to be really miserable. Now, if I didn't have that choice, and if I was open to the experiences to come in and leave, like they are in a flow, I wouldn't be in a suffering, because then I would enjoy every experience as it comes. It's a little bit like sitting in a train and seeing all these different landscapes pass by with a curiosity. And I think that is like that flavor of the observer, that it stays uninvolved. It doesn't actually have an attachment to what the experience is. It has more like an interest in, oh, now this is happening. Oh, now this is happening. Oh, so there is a gentle presence there. And I think that is what carries me through moments of a really, really busy mind or things like that. How's that for you, Anil?
Beautiful. Now I'll share. I love that. I love that perspective. And for me, I become aware that a part of my mind is going crazy. So the first thing I do is separate me, my consciousness, the witnessing consciousness, from a part of my mind that is angry. So as a starting point, I say a part of me is angry. I'm okay. Now, this part of me that's angry, now the science of active meditation, as I shared, I'm a lover of Osho active meditations. I practice them, I teach them. So in these active meditations, Osho gibberish meditation, if I know the art of letting this out of me, this poison and anger out of me in a safe way, you can let it go through dancing, this restlessness, because the body is under the chemical influence. At this time you got cortisol and adrenaline running. So if you release that from your body through running, through dancing, through shaking, through gibberish, it helps tremendously. Then to sit after that, and never forgetting that the essence, my essence, is always at peace, in joy. So a part got activated, triggered, you release that through the body, and behind that, the silence is always there. And that's how I deal with it.
That's so beautiful. So really awesome. And I want to welcome people. We have about 50 people here. If you guys want to raise a hand if you have a question, and we'll in a second open it up. I want to ask, both of you, like, do you have a rigorous daily regime of meditating in the morning, meditating in the evening, or the active meditation that you talk about, Anil, sounds an even more innovative. My teacher in India many years ago used to say that his best meditation is while he is washing the dishes.
Work as meditation,
right? So I would love to learn a little bit more about what you apply as your meditation.
I got into active meditation 27 years ago, and I still keep that practice. Like anything, one of the things which is very important, like any skill in personal development or leadership or music or art, any form of art, whether you're a comedian or a musician or you want growth, you cannot let go of your practice. If you are a singer, you've got to practice singing. If you love meditation, you have to meditate. You have to bring your meditation practice, because, in our daily life, like someone flipping you, cutting you, making you angry. So the brain keeps doing its job. It keeps releasing the chemicals in the body. Like we take a shower every day. I practice meditation, active meditations every day to release that from the body. And then I sit for as long as the space holds me. So yes, depending upon what I am dealing with, what's present in my life. I live in Los Angeles. It's as crazy as Sometimes we call it the hell A instead of the LA. So life happens. And yes, I practice every day. And like anything that is important to us, we must do it first thing in the morning. So what I do is I get up, I pee, brush my teeth, and I do my practice first. It doesn't work for me otherwise. So I keep it in the morning.
But what I've learned, and I just want to embrace, like maybe there is different people here in the conference where there are very different stages of their meditation. And so I would say, the first 10 years of meditation, I was very interested in formal meditation. And I tried, just like Anil, both come from that same path, starting with Osho. A lot of the active meditations to just get to know what is the flavor of meditation, not the set of my mind that I had about it, but really what's the flavor, what's the experience. And as this experience grew for me, it started going its natural ways. It's a much more integrated into my life practice. And it doesn't actually matter to me whether I bake or I make jewelry or I'm on my bicycle or I swim. Activity is a very important part, integrating meditation in the body, just like for Anil, is still a very important part for me. But it can be just smelling the pine needles after a rain when the sunshine comes through a monsoon evening on the bicycle, that moment of that sunset where I'm with my sweetheart out with the bikes, or I'm in the pool and I'm just enjoying the flow of my body in the water and really noticing that. So over time, it becomes for me a more informal practice that immerses in all aspects of life. Just like you said, that this thing about washing the dishes, yes?
Yeah. So the technique of meditation, the active part of the meditation then becomes medicinal. So you do it when you need it. You take the medicine when you need it. And I have loved that kind of a metaphor. Otherwise, you just sit. There are mornings when you wake up and you're at peace, then you don't need to take your medicine, the technique part of it. Then you just close your eyes and sit, and it's as sweet as it can be. So yeah, it's good to have the toolkit and the resource kit of techniques.
My goodness, I can ask questions all day, but let's see what Doris has for you guys. I want to ask a quick question about the journey of in and out of meditation, like the process of how long does it get to take into meditation? What happens when I go out of meditation, like reintegrate with society? Can I just walk out of the door? And I know that active meditation has a little bit of a, you can do it as you, but when you have that morning practice, do you have any ceremony? Do you have any tools to give? And when you get out of meditation, do you just get out of your seat and return to daily activities? How does that work for you guys?
I can quickly answer that from my perspective. So when I call it the essence of meditation, Amir, for me, that is most importantly relaxation, then awareness and non-judgmental attitude. So if I carry that essence with me when I step out the door, stay relaxed, stay non-judgmental, and stay aware of my mind, my emotions, my feeling. If I carry that essence with me, then my living starts to have the fragrance of meditation. Then you carry that essence with you. That's what it is for me. Perhaps Komala can add a different perspective.
And I want to come back again. There are stages, that we develop in as meditators. And, having meditated for more than 4 decades, there's a flow. The inside and the outside are no longer separate. And I consider myself mostly an open-eyed meditator. So the deepest meditation for me happens when I sit at the workbench, or I wash the dishes, or I move my body. There isn't any longer that separation. But I think it was very helpful for me to close my eyes, go into a meditation for 2-3 hours, stay there, get to know my inner world, because when I started meditation, I really only had mostly access to the outer world. So once that became more natural to me, being in contact with the inner world, essentially at some moment in time, the inner world and the outer world start dancing with each other. And it's becoming, like when you do something for a long time, like brushing your teeth every day, you don't have to think about it. It's just now I'm brushing my teeth, now I don't, right?
Yes, yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from this entire workshop is what you said earlier, Komala, collecting what was fun, like collecting the gems, find those little moments, whether it's, that's to me the biggest, because it's really about that. It's about noticing, the beauty and the magic, and how do we, through meditation, find that.
Amir, there is a comment in the chat that I would like to pick on for a second. She or he says it's really hard for an empath to help people with their grief. We're so vulnerable. And what I want to mention to you, Minty, is that is what the compassion work is designed for. And again, when I go back to science, compassion is feeling with, feeling for, empathy is feeling with. So as an empath, feeling all of these things coming through, we kind of look at phenomena like empathy burnout. But I want you to know that on the path of compassion, which is a really valuable tool for an empath, you cultivate a sense of feeling for, and it actually creates an energy of landscape of love within you. And I want you to know, like in the future, probably in January, we're going to offer the compassion cultivation program through Guidely, and that might be a really good fit for you. Yes.
So before I take thank you, Komala, for this. Before I take maybe our last question, if you have another question, raise your hand. Before I do that, I want to remind everybody that we have 2 upcoming events with Anil and Komala. Anil will be doing an inner stillness through active meditations workshop in our community on October 27th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Information is in our community. I think there is a link in the chat for that event. And then Komala does on November 10th a compassion cultivation practice in our community. It will be at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So would love for those of you who feel called to join us. Both of those are really incredible. We also have a workshop, a talk and a workshop with Gabby Bernstein coming up in November 21st, right? 15th. Sorry, we'll announce. It's November, I think 15th. I think you're right. We'll announce shortly. And last question, anybody in the audience? Because I have a last question. I can do this for hours. Any other question? No?
But Amir, before you ask the question, I just noticed Rebecca, one of our co-guides in the room, and for Boris and for someone's question about meditation, do rituals, mantras and rituals help? I think tremendously. And I would, if Boris or anyone, please connect. There is help. I think that's one thing I love about Guidely platform is there is such a wide range of experts who are available here. What a unique opportunity, what a unique platform. So please explore. I think they help. I definitely think they help.
Yeah.
So your last question.
Yeah, and Joanne is here, and
I do want to hear that last question from you, Amir, though. I can't wait.
Yeah, so there is I want to go back to your comment, your practice of active meditation, and there, I've done walking meditation, and I've done eating meditation through eating, like chewing an almond for I can't remember how many times I had to chew the almond before we actually swallow it, and all sorts of different active meditations. And I go back to Komala, what you said, and I know that for different people, different times in life and in their practice journey, different work, but you know, really releasing that weight from the spring, or the tension of the spring. How do you bring it to the day-to-day? Like if you're in traffic, how do you make that choice of taking that other perspective of wishing well the other person, or notice the anger in the moment of trigger? Is there a trick, a tool that we can use to notice which seat are we in when we respond to something?
Gonna take that first, Anil. You know, there's this beautiful story that Osho kind of talked about once in a discourse, which basically he framed it through Buddha's mind. And he said, you know, during Buddha's time, there were a lot of elephants because Buddha lived in India. And the way Buddha described it was, you know, when you start watching anger, you first notice it once the elephant has already passed, and you look back and kind of, you see the tail of the elephant. You know, I was really angry. But the way that we say it now, I had an amygdala hijack, right? And then, you know, slowly, as you begin noticing that, and as you tune in with that mindfulness awareness element, you kind of know when the elephant is there. You kind of get that sense in your body. Anger is kind of coming up, and you notice it in the moment. And eventually, you know, Buddha said you can see the elephant when it starts coming. It's not yet there, but you can see it. You can see the trunk of it, and you kind of go, oh, anger. That's the moment, you know, where Dita was talking about Viktor Frankl's thing, that moment between the trigger, the stimulus, and the answer, where then you kind of have that element of choice. And so working it from the tail to the front of the elephant is what his method was, what he taught. Does that help?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Beautiful. And for me, Amir, what I do is that's again a metaphoric story of the bucket. The trigger is a bucket, but what's coming up in me is mine. So anger coming up at me. So disconnecting from the trigger to what I'm feeling. So I'm feeling angry, perhaps because I got up late in the morning. It's not about the traffic or someone not moving. So turning that GoPro from the other onto yourself has been tremendous practice and helpful for me.
That is wonderful. I love both of those, and I will share that I've learned a lot from both of you guys, and it's really such a privilege to have you all, and I really appreciate our wonderful group of people here joining us today. Thanks to our guides that are here. I see Rebecca and Joanne, and I thought I saw someone else earlier. So I wanna remove all pins, and I wanna put everybody in gallery. If you guys are open to open your cameras, open your mics, we want to say goodbye to everybody as we always do, and really say how much I appreciate this time together today. It has been one long meditation together. It wasn't just the 20 minutes in the beginning. So feel free. Thank you, everybody.